thank you for coming down from Clovis. Can you give us a little bit of the background for who you are? You know, this is not your first rodeo, but it's your first rodeo in this district.
I'm a small business owner from Madera, and my business is in Clovis. I was a former high school history teacher, and this isn't my first rodeo running. I ran last time in the 13th Congressional District. I like to tell people, you know, my house is in the nexus of the universe. I can walk out my front door in a mile, 3 different directions. I'm in 3 different congressional districts. So they really carved up the Central Valley. But I'm excited to run in this race, and I'm the only one in this race that actually got in and decided to stand up and kind of hold Speaker McCarthy accountable, which I think was necessary.
I like that you're addressing it right away, the fact that you're in Madera. I know, but your business is in the district. I know that's always a question of contention for where people live.
It's not against the rules. We do have 2 congressmen, Republicans close by that don't live in their districts, John Duarte, Tom McClintock, and you know, my business is in the district and I have an interest in it. My business has been broken into 3 times in 3 years in the district. And like I said, you know, I can't, you know, change where I was born. I was originally an East Coaster. I'll be out front because that's a topic they hit me on. They'll call me a carpetbagger. They'll call me this. I can't change where I was born. I'm choosing to live here. And there's a lot of people that are born in the Central Valley that have been in politics for a long time that have done a lot of harm for the Central Valley. I have a great appreciation for this area. I love what it is. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this because I'm doing this to try and help the Central Valley.
You have your 2 biggest Republican opponents in this race are someone who's served the Valley for some time in California, and then you have another one who serves his county as the sheriff. How do you offer a different perspective being that business owner who's in this district?
Well, listen, I always tell people, I feel I'm the only candidate who really offers real change. You know, all of my opponents came out after Speaker McCarthy retired. They're singing Speaker McCarthy's praises. They want to continue that legacy. I think that the Valley needs a new legacy. You know, I would look back and argue that there's really not much Speaker McCarthy has delivered for the Central Valley. Not much has changed over his tenure there. The national landscape has gotten worse. And I believe I'm somebody, I don't owe anyone anything. I'm not funded by Speaker McCarthy's donors or Valley elites or this kind of thing. I'm doing this because I'm just a normal guy. I say that, it sounds cliche, but I consider myself nobody special. I'm a husband, a father, a small business owner who wants to genuinely give back and deliver for people who feel left behind. So I feel I'm the only one who offers that. I would not have voted for the debt ceiling. I would not have voted for the continuing resolution. And I would not have voted for the reauthorization of FISA, and I would never support amnesty like, you know, my sheriff opponent is pushing a policy that supports amnesties.
How are you different from Speaker McCarthy? What would that look like in D.C. in your first few months in?
Well, one of the things I really want to do is address the water issue. You know, there's a bunch of things I would do differently. I want to say that because that is important to the Central Valley in California, and I think it's incredibly unfortunate that we had our biggest Republican delegation in decades from California, currently in the U.S. House of Representatives, and water wasn't even a top priority. I have a detailed, comprehensive plan to finally bring about a long-term end to this solution. We've been told for years it's a complex issue, it's tough, we got to settle for Band-Aid fixes. I don't believe that's the case. Is it going to be easy to get this plan passed or done? No, but you need someone who's going to be a constant advocate for it. And I actually believe that my out-of-state, you know, heritage lineage gives me a different perspective, because before I moved out here, I never really understood how important the Central Valley water was. And there's a lot of people around the country that don't. So I have to be that mouthpiece to make sure that people like I used to be understand that this is not a California issue. This is not a Western states issue. This is a United States issue. And I plan to work with President Trump to get that passed. In another way, I also want to root out corruption. I think I'm all for ending the lawmakers from trading stocks, from becoming lobbyists after they leave offices. I'm a proponent of term limits. I'm going to go there to cut spending. And I also believe that we need to scale back our endless war efforts and focus on policies that directly benefit the American people. You know, I'm a small business owner. There's a lot of people struggling. I'm in retail, and I could see it firsthand in the fact that things have been slower than they've ever been in the last few years, and that's because people have less disposable income.
How do you change some of those things once you get there? Because we always hear, these big proposals, but then once you get there, it can be tough to get that actually passed. Even though if your heart's in the right place and you're putting those drafts in, tends to be a criticism of people who identify with America First or MAGA is the lack of legislation that gets through.
Well, listen, I'm not doing it for book deals and for clicks on the internet. I think there are some people in our movement that do a disservice by being a little more flamboyant and verbose and a little less on substance and a lot of talk. I'm going there to get things done. And how I'm going to do that, listen, I know politics. It's not easy to get a bill passed. That's why most bills don't become laws. But you can't give up. I was a baseball player. I learned really early on that striking out happens very often. You know, I played when I was younger. I struck out 12 times in a row one time, and I felt like junk. And I got back up there, and I kept fighting. So I'm used to being kicked in the teeth by nature. You know, you get out you get a hit 3 times out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame in baseball. So I have to be an advocate, and I have to be a smart advocate, because I actually believe America first and MAGA. It's not something I run from.
Well, the term limits in the stock exchanges, those are definitely things that are appealing amongst both Democrats and Republicans, you know, ending those things, especially amongst, it seems more the populist or wings of the party than it is the establishment or so-called establishment. One of the things, though, that does, I guess, come along with being the America First Republican are those ties to Roger Stone and also Michael Flynn. How do you, I guess, run in that lane with those two if you want to be appealing to a broad electorate?
Roger Stone is a guy, he goes all the way back to, I mean, he's been in Republican politics, a stalwart since Nixon. He worked in Reagan's administration. I mean, Roger Stone's a smart guy. He knows a lot about politics. General Flynn gave a lot to this country as service. You know, I respect both of these men. I am proud to have their endorsements. I'm proud to say that I support President Trump. I've never backed away from President Trump, you know, because I believe in the vision and the policies, and those are the things that are going to save this country. You know, to me, it's all about doing what I believe is best for the American people.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time today.
No problem. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.